Hi everyone, I'm Daniel. We're back for the third scenario of the core set. This is the last of our series in this kind of tutorial, walkthrough, playthrough of the entire core set, walking you through my decisions, of course, and setting up the game and all that. We're having a good time so far with Joe Diamond and Isabelle Barnes, just playing with the core set cards and upgrades. Last scenario was Smoke and Mirrors, and we did pretty well. We got 4 of the 6 suspects interviewed or interrogated, however we want to actually talk about that, because we actually ended up defeating most of them. Neat. Okay, so this one, we had 7 experience to play with, and for Joe Diamond, we decided to put a second copy of Studious, another permanent card. There's actually no limit 1 on these, so we can have 2, meaning that we begin the game with 7 cards in our opening hand. 7, big number. And for our other XP, we did have 1 left over, so that left us with 5. We're going to get rid of this right tool for the job, but don't think we've ever played it. I think we draw enough cards where it's not that important, but you know what we can replace this with? Something that actually draws more cards. Unbridled Knowledge. This is the level 5 upgrade in the core set for Seekers. I haven't played with it yet, and it's not really my cup of tea of the in terms of a big upgrade for Seekers, in my opinion. I think the card's good, and I'm looking forward to actually playing it, since I might not do so in the near future anyway. Let's go ahead and get rid of this. Notably, in this scenario, we don't start with Dr. Henry Armitage, so we do have kind of a glut of allies with just the 2 slots, the Charisma plus the normal slot. Over here for Isabelle, we got rid of a couple of things that we didn't really like playing, the broken bottles, even though they did something for us last time. It's just not our game plan. So we're going to upgrade those into 2 copies of Fearless, another skill card to use with her ability. This is really nice. 2 wild icons, and lets you heal 2 horror instead of just 1 if you succeed by 2 or more. Even just healing the 1, I think, is fantastic. And happen to know that there are more than a few willpower tests in this encounter deck. Old Compass is an item that we can now put into our hand slots if we're not worried about that broken bottle anymore. Level 2, so that was 2 experience, 2 cost, 2 intellect icons, and investigate, getting -1 shroud for the investigation. We haven't really had a good way for Izzy to get clues other than her look what I founds. This actually helps with that. We can go up to a shroud 3 location and fail by 2 much more easily because the location gets -1 shroud. Down to 2 makes failing by 2 or less basically inevitable. Now, if we do fail the test, we actually can test again and get -2 shroud for the investigation instead. So a 4 shroud location becomes a bit more doable. It's still just 1 clue at a time, but I think that's worth it. Also put it in the second copy of Scrape By. Card's just good. And I removed Hunter's Instinct. Kind of just felt like I don't really have time to play it. Don't really need it. Although I think the card's quite good. Something needs to go. And Manual Dexterity, also very useful card, but something has to go. So those are our changes. It's often the most difficult part of the game is deciding what stays in the deck and what doesn't. You don't really want to compromise what was there to begin with. Okay, so as per usual, the beginning of this, we're going to be taking our trauma, damage, or horror. That's 1 mental trauma piece. And then we'll go ahead and draw our opening hands. Get the starting resources, all that part's good. So for Joe, we're looking at 7 cards. 7 cards is a lot, isn't it? Okay. I don't think we need to start with this because we get a benefit for drawing it during our turn. So let's just put that aside. 2 magnifying glasses might be overkill. I do like the machete. So let's make sure we get rid of 1 of those. And then we've got like a bunch of skills. We also have this. Reveal top 5 cards of your deck, 8 cards instead if you control 2 or more clues, draw 3 of them and place the rest of those cards on top or bottom of your deck and or bottom in any order. Probably not worth playing this until I get the 2 clues, and that's very likely, but I'll keep it. It is just card draw, but I think I'll keep it. Keep the magnifying glass. Logan... It's tough, right? I'd rather get Henry Armitage. This guy does give you resources in the short run and the long run, so he's not bad to to start with, but considering I don't have a weapon, I think we can get rid of that too. In which case, we can probably lose the other skills. Skills are great, but skills are better when you draw into them later, essentially because I want to start with my assets. So this is a whole other 5 cards to draw. Okay. I like to see the money. I should have mentioned that getting money early is really good. Working a hunch is fine. The deduction is really good with the magnifying class. The flashlight is not bad either. We could play it, stack it with the mag glass, get us a 6. Resilience is fine. We might actually play this since we don't actually have an ally. All right, that's Joe. Now, on Izzy's side, we are definitely looking for a uh, way to fight, right? And the cloak is just not it. We've got 4 skills here, and the cloak. None of these are worth keeping, even though the cloak is really good in the scenario. It's not good enough. Okay, so we still didn't find any weapons. We have a lucky charm. We do have a ward and a soul link, and that's it. We've had a hard time with mulliganing over here. I know I got rid of 2 weapons, and we just have the 2 meat cleavers and her sigs, but usually you get there with the full mulligan. We didn't. Unfortunately, this card doesn't help Izzy, but this might just encourage us to find the machete sooner than later. Okay, set up for the scenario. Scenario 3, Queen of Ash. So we're talking with Dr. Armitage at Velma's Diner and saying, what now? Eventually they figure out that they are in the sewers. We didn't discover the cult's whereabouts, so we are going to add a doom on the agenda to begin with. That was, if you remember from the end of last scenario, I had to shuffle together the different suspects and say, was the one the Harbinger of Elokoss, the one I randomly picked up? And the answer was Abigail Foreman. No. So we did not discover the cult's whereabouts. Now, also, because of our campaign difficulty, we need to add an Elder Thing and a tablet token to the Chaos Bag for the rest of the campaign. That's been done already over here, so we have 2 of every symbol token. The Skull, Cultist, Tablet, and Elder Thing, there's a bunch of those. And if we were playing on Hard or Expert, we have to add even more stuff, which theoretically dilutes the auto-fail, but those tokens are not your friend in this scenario. Okay, the setup is pretty simple. We get all of the encounter sets as usual. We're going to have the underground cavern in play up here. As additional cost to enter this, we have to spend 6 clues as a group. And then we shuffle each location in the sewers encounter set, that's these 5 cards together, and put them into play unrevealed. And then we have the sewer culvert. Sewer culvert. That's where we begin. There's some other stuff that would need to happen if we had those things happen, but I should just mention them. If the investigators scoured Arkham for answers, we would begin the game with 1 clue. This would be if that last scenario we had interrogated all 5 of the suspects and also had kept the Servant of Flame in jail. If the investigators stirred up trouble, this would be the opposite. If we had defeated all of them and put them all on the victory display, all 6, then we would end up starting with some enemies in play. Now, the investigators did kill the Servant of Flame, so we remove him for the game. We're never going to see him. Good. All right, the fire encounter set is set aside along with both copies of the collector reward asset. We'll talk about that later if we need to, and then some other beefy enemies. Notably, there's 2 other cards in, or 1 other card by name in the fire encounter set that is in the deck. So we shuffle this together. We're good to go here. Our agenda, there's 3 cards here. A Gathering, Agenda 1A. Each enemy at a location with a copy of fire attached cannot be damaged. Okay, not a problem yet. We haven't seen the fire. 6 to advance. We have 1. Search the sewers. They could be anywhere. We're going to look for them here because that's the goal when an investigator enters the underground cistern advance. So we need to pick up 6 clues, and we assume that there's enough clues on these to get them because there's no clues at the starting location, which just has 1 shroud, and there's a resign here. Sewer culvert is connected to each sewer tunnel's location, so all of these, and vice versa. It does make a note that during the scenario, some locations have different location connection icons on their revealed side, so when we go to some of these, there may be some changes. Okay. Well, here we are. How do we start? Um, it's a bit tough because we need to get going, but we also need to make sure we don't just stupidly die. So I think the game plan right now is to set up. We have a lot of cards to play. It would be helpful to actually play them. Now, if I were to draw 3 cards in Joe, that's going to put me up way too much. I'd like to play my cards first, and then maybe we'll think about drawing these later. So let's do our emergency cash. 1, 2, 3. Action 1. One thing that's nice about this is I could play it and then uh, find kind of the card I want to play and not worry about getting amnesia. So I don't have the clues. I think it's better for me to wait because these cards are good enough to play right now. Let's do the resilience. Action 2. Let's put out the magnifying glass. Still 2 actions. This is fast. I could play the hand crank flashlight here. It is an action and a resource. If I haven't found the machete yet, it's probably worth it. I think I should. I think I should do that. It also protects me a bit from a paranoia right off the flop here. Okay, that's Joe. We at least have some soak. Over here, we're just going to have to draw cards. We're going to want to just pick up a meat cleaver. Another lucky charm. Let's do one more card. Fearless. Not great. Okay, so we should probably just play the emergency cash and hope that we get something good next round. We do have some skills, so we're not totally cooked, but it's not the best. Okay, enemy phase. There's no enemies out here. We'll go right to upkeep. All right. And then another scrape by. Okay. To Doom. Joe, you get the first encounter card. It is Noxious Smoke. It's not a great card. Take a test that is either of my bad stats and take a damage for each point I fail by. So we could commit this to go up 1. Our tokens, by the way. Again, we have 2 of each of these. The tablet and cultists are -2s. The skulls are 0s. And the other things, there's 2 of those, are -3s. So what we could do is have Izzy help. She could commit this Soul Link. Get it in the discard pile. She doesn't mind too much. That's probably the way. That gets him to 5. Okay, she takes the Horror. We can heal it off with the Fearless later. That's the idea. So 5 to 3. 0. Okay. So we do pass. We don't take any damage. We're okay. A Cantor Flame. This is less good. Okay. 2/2/2. Retaliate. So we want to pass our tests. And right now, there is a decent argument for Joe going first and maybe drawing some cards. Because we could just do an evade here, and we're going to have to come back to this thing basically all the time. It's tough not having weapons. We could do an evade. We have our scrape buys. I really, really would like to play this when I have 2 clues. If I go get 2 clues and then come back, we can help out next round a little bit better. Okay, I think that's actually the play. We're going to move. Let's go right in the middle here. And we hope it's not... Okay, let's take the horror one. That one's okay. I was going to say, I hope it's not the one that spawns an enemy. This is a 4 Shroud, which is not great, but I think we can try for the clues. We have a deduction. That gives us a 7. So we use the flashlight. That gets us to 5. This is 6. This is 7. That is almost all the tokens. I think we run it. -2. We are not at a ritual site location. It's just a sewer. We get both clues. We first do draw a card with Joe's ability. Can't forget about that. Dead ends. This is fine. This is the last scenario, so we're not going to worry about this. But it didn't get us what we want, which is a weapon. So now I think we do play this, and we'll look at the top 8. Our last action. Spend a resource. We look at the top 8 cards. Let's just do it this way with the search helper. And we're going to, draw 3 of them and place the rest of those cards on top or bottom of your deck in any order. Okay. So Mark of Elokoss is pretty bad. Henry's good. Scene of the crime will be good at some point. Okay, we're going to take 3. 1, we didn't get a weapon. We do have an overpower. 2. And it might be the deduction just for speed. Okay, the rest go on the top or bottom. This one's going to go on the bottom. And it's not the greatest ones to go in here. We could throw these at the bottom as well. We could keep okay, let's keep 1 Logan on top. And then we'll put the mark, another Logan, a scene of the crime, working a hunch. Okay, these are all going to go on the bottom. So if we don't search our deck at all anymore, that's reasonable. So just do that. Okay. Didn't solve the problem over here, but I feel like we can take a couple of evades and be happy with that. So let's do that. Let's do a 3-2 evade because we don't get attacked if we fail. We're good. -1. Do we want to leave? We'd be in the same pickle next round. Lucky Charm doesn't help me much. I think we draw another card. Maybe we get an asset to play. We do. We will play this Cloak of Resonance for in our body slot for our 3rd action. So we evaded, we drew, and we're going to play this. So this will help us deal damage to this guy slowly but surely. All right. We go to upkeep. Enemies ready. There's our Logan Hastings, and there's our Meat Cleaver. Okay. Okay. Encounter card. Another enemy, a Hellhound. This is a bit tricky for Joe to deal with. Oh, in my turn, I needed to have taken a horror. Yeah, let's put it there. I'm not really sure how to deal with this. Could just be 3 punches. We'll see what Izzy comes up with. Extraplanar Visions. This is testing X, the number of cards in hand. 7. If you fail, take a damage and discard 1 card at random. So there's a lot of things that we could think about here. One is committing some stuff. We have 2 Lucky Charms. We don't need both of them. Once we commit things from hand, this becomes easier. So I could put like a Fearless into this. I could put the Lucky Charm. And now suddenly we're testing at 7, because it's 4 plus 3, to 5, up 2. Or we don't do any of that, and we just play our Ward of Protection, dealing a damage to this guy, and then I can, I don't know, do something else. That's probably the way. I mean, it's not the best, right? I would like to save maybe this ability for committing another card. I don't know how Joe's going to get out of this. Okay. I think I ward this out of caution. We'll take the horror, we'll put it here, and we'll do 1 damage to the canter. Okay. Whole thing is canceled. We move on. Okay. So Joe could literally take 3 fights, right? It's not my favorite thing to do here. Izzy could punch, move. Moving isn't great. Meat cleaver, fight, move, and then next round engage. It's kind of really depends on what Joe does. Joe can't get away from this thing. We have no evasion in this deck. We could have put in something like the through the cracks would have been pretty good here. I think honestly, just taking 4 fights, maybe one with the overpower, is going to help us out. In fact, we might end up drawing a vicious blow. So let's go 6-2, first action. -2, successful. Draw a card. Not helpful. We just hope to get 2 more -2s. Let's try it. There's 1, 0, no fire, and the auto fail. Okay. No retaliate, but if he attacks, we're going to have to choose and discard an asset. Which is probably fine. We could stand to lose the hand crank. It's okay to have some kind of a target for that. We'll take a whore at the end of our turn. Okay. We could end up helping out though. We could fight, move, fight. I don't really like that though. I think it's better just to play the meat cleaver. So we're going to take an attack opportunity. That's going to be 1 damage. And then we are going to spend our 2 resources, getting down to 4. And now we're going to be fighting at 5-on-2, which feels a lot better. Second action. Yeah, -2 is good. Canter's down. We can heal a whore. I think we will. That's what it's there for. Third action, we can help Joe out, I think, more likely by playing this Lucky Charm for third action. Now I can move some of that whore off of him, or damage, onto... don't know what. Maybe the horror can go off onto the cloak and then kill the Hellhound, and then we come back. It's a little bit of a waste of time, but that's all right. Okay, so we're going to take a damage. We'll put the damage onto the resilience, and the horror will go onto us. Would love to play Henry, and then we'll lose the hand crank. Okay, upkeep. There's the machete. And dexterity. 4 of 6. Okay, there are no cultists in play. So if we fail this, we'll be grabbing 1. Which is not really the location for it, but I think we could do some shenanigans. Yeah. Okay. I think we just take this 2 to 3. All right. We fail by 1. We're going to find a cultist enemy and draw it. And these are where we want the zealots. I think this should be okay with our cloak. Okay. Shuffle the encounter deck if it was searched. That's always the case when you search a whole deck. Okay, we have a zealot. This is a new enemy here. It is 2/1/2, 1 HP, aloof. After the enemy enters play, place a doom on it. Enemies that have doom on them count towards the agenda, which, by the way, we'd like to get rid of this round. Well, that just wrecked things. This is the big cultist. Dark Magician, 4/4/2, Hunter Retaliate. When the round ends, place 1 doom on the enemy with no doom on it nearest to Dark Magician. Could be himself. So, he needs to die in order for the agenda to not tick over as well. Well, failing that test sure was a problem. I could have committed something, but... So, this is what makes the game fun. We have a line here. The line is, we pass the meat cleaver tests, move here, and then move a horror from Joe onto the cloak, killing the zealot. Or we take the horror from ending our turn here and kill the Hellhound. I mean, that's the line. I have 2 scrape buys, so this means that I probably pass. We're running right now at a 5-on-4. It's not a great number, but again, this is probably what the scrape buys are for. So let's take the horror. And I could start putting the horror on here, by the way, but it's okay here. We're at 5 on 4 with our meat cleaver. That is a -3. Okay, let's go ahead and pass the test instead. I really want to pass the test. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to take a horror because a symbol was revealed, but that's fine. We'll put it there. And then we'll run this again. The same thing happens. Okay, Dark Magician does die. I'm going to heal the horror I just would have taken from the scrape by, and that is that. We're gonna move, and we've got all kinds of horror here. And our turn ends. We take a horror, put it onto the cloak, and deal damage to an enemy here. Okay. That was interesting. Now, I could move the horror off. I think I will. I think I'm going to spend a charge here and move a horror from the cloak to Izzy. Now, I do realize that my weakness is going to potentially make that a problem, but let's see if we can heal or get Alexi sooner than that. Okay, back over here. We're still fighting at 4-2. I think we can chance that for our first attack. We could. Hellhound is dead. I got to get out of here and probably play Dr. Armitage. So we move second action back to the sewer culvert where we don't have to take horror anymore. And we play Dr. Armitage in our other, well, our only first ally slot, I suppose, for 3 resources, putting us down to 2. And that is our whole turn. So now we have a little bit more wiggle room here. All right, let's go ahead and go to upkeep. I just love when we get the weapons right after. Anyway, it's worked out so far. We only have 2 clues, but we've dealt with 1, 2, 3, 4 enemies. And one of them is in the victory display now. Extraplanar visions. All right, we have got 5 to 8. Take a damage, discard a card at random. That feels fine with me. I don't think I need to commit anything. We'll lose a random card. Okay, if you fail, draw the topmost copy of fire. There's no fire there, so we'll just be discarding a random card. The deduction actually is good. And we'll take the damage onto Joe. Izzy, an unnatural decay. All right, this is free. If we fail this, we place a doom on an asset, but guess what? Doom doesn't matter right now. Okay, -2, we fail. We're going to place a doom on an asset. How about the meat cleaver? Meat cleaver feels like a fun thing to have doom on it. At the agenda flip, we'll be removing all doom in play anyway. That includes tokens on cards you control. So this doesn't matter because we don't check the doom threshold for advancement until the Mythos phase rolls around again. All right, we need to go find another location. I think this is probably Izzy's job because one of these does spawn an enemy, and I'd like to be able to react to that. So we'll move here, and there it is. I've got 2 clues here. If you get into the location, discard cards until an enemy is discarded and drawn. So the good thing here is that there's 2 of the enemies are the zealots, and they can just spawn and we can ignore them. Yeah. So this enters play. It's aloof. Place a doom on it. We don't need to deal with that. We could work on getting the clues. I don't have my Look What I Found, though. I think it's better to just play my bandages and figure out the other stuff some other time. I really would like my ally, but we have no card draw really in this deck, so that's where we're at. Now, don't forget, I could at any point commit my Soul Link, but I think it just junks up the deck a little bit more than I need to. If Joe goes in here, another enemy will spawn. We don't want to do that. Okay. I think we throw down the machete, go to a new location, And when you're in your turn here, you gain a resource. It's an interesting idea. I could stay here and maybe gain some resources, heal a damage or horror, and I would get the free resource, but it's not really worth it, right? I played, I moved, I can just go back. Note, of course, that this is the smuggler's cache location is a dead end. So there's really no point, unless you end up here with your last action, to going here. You might as well just go back. If I didn't have paranoia, I might feel differently, but I have no other movement tech here, so I think it's worth it to just go back. No clues in this location. That means that these other locations will be with clues. We still just need 6, so we don't have to worry about all of these. Okay, that's that. We go to upkeep, laboratory assistant for some more soak potentially, and an overpower. I would like to maybe play the emergency cache and Logan. We'll see. Okay, we have 8 Doom in play out of 6, so that means we remove all of it. Now, the cultist here still stays here, which does potentially matter, but let's go ahead and advance this. And from somewhere deep within the bowels of the city, a searing flame grows in intensity. Nuh-uh. There's no servant of flame enemy set aside. Now, the next part does happen. 4 willpower. Each investigator who fails takes a direct horror. All right. There's basically no hope for Joe. We could commit. I guess there is hope. We could commit this. But it feels like that's not worth it, because if I'm going to take the direct horror, I can just play this and heal it back and get some resources out of it. Because there's no guarantee I pass it, even at 5 to 4. I mean, the odds are okay, but I think we'll just run it. Yeah, -3, it would not have passed. We will take a direct horror. For Izzy, we think more carefully. We say, what if we commit these things? This puts us to 7. -1 heals us 2. Prevent the horror. I think we do it. -2. Okay, so that was a 5 on 4. I only healed a 1, but it's still pretty good. All right. Now we could kill the zealot with the cloak, but I happen to know that both of these blasphemous invocations are in here. So it's not going to get any more doom. And I know there's another way for them to start moving, but I'm not going to worry about that too much. 10 doom to advance. 10 doom. We haven't seen any of the cosmic evils. I don't have another ward, so it might go quicker than that. Okay, Joe needs to get to work. Izzy also could get to work, but she didn't find a magnifying glass or old compass. She didn't find the look what I found, so it's a little bit tougher for her to get these clues. We might just need to get all of them with Joe. Let's take a first action move. I don't think any of these have anything scary. Well, losing an action is a little scary. Let's do the investigate. We have 6 on 2. Action 3. -3, good enough. We'll draw a card with our reaction. Vicious blow. Would have liked that a long time ago. We're going to be over hand size. It's too bad I don't have that extra resource now, so I could play the working a hunch. Oh well. By the way, Dr. Henry Armitage says that the first action you perform each round does not provoke attacks of opportunity. Hasn't mattered yet, but it could. All right. This is also a dead end, by the way, but it does have a clue. So what do you say, Izzy? Do you want to just slam basic investigates into this thing? Probably not. Let's take a card first. What do you say we gain a resource? And now let's do an investigate at 2 to 1. We still could pass this. We sure do. Here's a clue for Izzy. Now, one thing that we could do later, since this is not a dead end, we could go through this location. We don't really want to do that. We want to go through either this location or the one we haven't seen yet. Don't want Joe to go through here because another enemy will show up. Okay, little awkward, but we do have 4 clues now. Let's go to upkeep. We need to get rid of something. Probably it's the gather intel. it's got a good icon on here for agility test, but I don't need to draw more cards. The Mark of Elokoss is here. So this is going to deal damage to Izzy because we have no ally here that takes any damage. So this might just have to go. Otherwise, she's taking direct damage. We have the bandages, so it's not impossible to tank. But if we have nothing better to do, we probably just dump this. One Doom of 10. Another Zealot. Joe could take care of it. And Dissonance. Test 3 willpower. If you fail, lose 1 action and choose 1 card type, asset, event, or skill. Discard all non-weakness cards of the chosen type from your hand. So we could choose asset here. We'll lose an action, but probably worth it. 4 to 3. All right, we fail. We lose an action. We choose asset. We discard all assets from our hand, and we're done. Why can I do that? Because there's no must here, and I already lost an action anyway. So it's okay to choose something that you have nothing of. Okay. It's also not like a choice where the game state has to change in this case. It's a little murky here. I wish they'd written something like you don't have to have the card type here, but this is kind of a long-standing tradition of these types of cards where you get to choose something. But I think losing the action is enough of a game state change. I don't know. If you have a better rules understanding of that, let me know in the comments. Maybe it's also because discarding all doesn't mean you have to choose particular cards. Okay. I think we just play it safe and get rid of this. I don't want to stupidly die to damage. Okay. Over on Joe's side, we have our whole turn. We probably get our clue. Engage this. Shoot. Or machete. Could do the machete first. We're at 5 to 2. It's pretty good. Let's do that. Action to engage. Aloof enemies have to be engaged to fight. And we get a +1. Very good. Last action. I mean, part of me says hand size tells me to just play the laboratory assistant right now. Am I okay kicking the can down the road? I think so. So we have 2 allies in play now. After the laboratory assistant enters play, we draw 2 cards. I'm trying to bait out the paranoia too. Okay. We go to upkeep. Another resilience. Another bandages. That's not helpful. We'll get there. Putrid vapors. Okay. Test 3 agility. If you fail, take a horror and discard a non-story asset. Okay, so the horror is fine. The non-story asset could be a magnifying glass because I think we'll draw another one. Is that correct that there's still one in there? Yes. Okay. I don't think I'll commit. I'll commit to this. So 3 all. There we go. Our horror is saved. Thank you, Gather Intel. And this is the scary one. Ashen Rebirth. Test 4 willpower. If you fail, you must either take 2 direct damage or 2 direct horror, whichever you have more of. That is, whichever is more on your investigator card. Which would be the horror right now, which is fine for Izzy. We don't have anything to help pass this test, so we're just taking it. Okay. 2 direct horror. What do? We go for the clues. We're at 6 to 2. We have to go back. May we play something? Okay, Joe, you go first. 6, magnifying glass. To 2. 0. Clue is mine. Card is mine. Unexpected courage. Okay. If I come back here, I'm just taking another horror. That seems silly. We could try another location. Really depends on what Izzy ends up doing. We could also kind of come in from two different directions. Like moving twice seems a bit silly. I do know this last one is actually fine to go into, so I think we do that. I think we move twice and we go into this last location. When you end your turn here, we'll discard a card, which was going to happen anyway, so that's fine. Extra clues are not bad. What do we get rid of? Folks, I think we get rid of this machete, and then we'll be fine. Izzy just goes 2-1. Nope. What else are we doing with our turn? Let's draw one more card. I gotta keep that. Let's go 2-1 again. No. I think that's worth, for the purposes of our time, picking up this clue. Okay. So we have all the clues we need next round if we want to walk in. However, we could just get these two if I am lucky. Laboratory assistant. The breaking point is here. Okay. So we have a direct damage to take. Then if you have 6 or fewer remaining sanity, that is true. I have 5. Take a direct damage. 3 or fewer? No. So that is the end of our breaking point. We now can react to each of those direct damages with our bandages. So we'll spend 2 and heal the 2. Whew. Okay. Now I can start committing things a bit more. I did think about the soul link, but I didn't want to go too crazy until I saw the breaking point. 3 of 10. Compulsion. I'm fine with putting 2 icons into this. It basically keeps me from failing by too much. So this puts me at 5-3. That's actually not bad. In fact, it's a 0. I succeed by 2. No fire, huh? That's only going to happen, well, it happens pretty soon. A Languor. Put this into play in your threat area. It's a Hex and a Bane. Let 1 per investigator. If your turn begins, discard the top card of your deck. If it is a weakness, draw it. Otherwise, you cannot play or commit cards of that type this round. 2 actions to get rid of it. It's a bit of a gambling weakness. Okay. Well, I think we can go in, but I'd love to pick up these 2 clues. I'd love to pick up the 2 clues, I think. Can we do that? We can work a hunch here and then do an investigate. Let's do the investigate first. Yeah. 6 on 3. I'm going to keep my cards here. I know the paranoia is coming up, but still. 6 on 3 is good enough to get a clue. I'm going to work a hunch to get the last one. And then we're going to just spend them. We're going to spend all 6 of Joe's. Second action, move in. And we'll advance. Okay. So, the chanting leads you through a labyrinth of tunnels to a dry cistern. Several dozen robed figures kneel before a burning birch tree, chanting. Your friend is among them. You must stop them before they sacrifice themselves for Elokoss. Spawn the set-aside Elokoss enemy at Underground Cistern. This is going to be the face-up side Faint Embers. We have 5 fight, 5 plus 10 health, 15, and 5 evade. Elokoss has massive, retaliate, can't move, cannot make attacks of opportunity. We can spend 2 clues to place a clue on Elokoss. If Elokoss has 5 clues on her resolution 2. I made a little mistake. I should not have spent all of my clues. If you'll afford me that, I would like to keep the 2 and have Izzy spend her 2. Forgot. Okay. So if there's 5 clues, we get to resolution 2, 3 damage, and 3 horror. Okay. What else? The investigator at Underground Cistern draws 1 of the set-aside fire treacheries. So hooray, We have some fire here. Attaches to this location. When the investigation phase ends, each non-elite card with health at this location takes direct damage. Bad. Don't do that. Test 3 agility. If you succeed, get rid of it. Next, we're going to shuffle each other copy of fire into this 14 card encounter deck along with the Herald of Flame and Queen's Knight. These are enemies that we'll look at if they pop out. Okay. And then put the set aside Sluice Control location into play. Let's stick it over there. Okay, last action. By the way, we need to read some more stuff here. 4 Shroud, 4 clues. If there are no clues here, place clues so we get 4. When the investigation phase ends, discard each ready non-elite cultist enemy at this location. Place 1 due on the agenda for each enemy discarded in this way. So they are sacrificing themselves. Okay. On the act, when the round ends, each cultist enemy moves once toward Underground Cistern. So this zealot over here is going to move, unless we do something about that. We can spend 2 clues as a group to discard a copy of fire. And we also have the ability, or the objective here, if we would like to just do the 15 damage somehow, we can advance that way. Now we have 6, 7 rounds. This requires us to get 10 clues. We have 2 of them, but we also have this sluice control that allows us to go somewhere if we spend some more clues, which I'd like to do. I spent my second action to move. I'd like to spend... I guess it doesn't say investigators at this location, so I was fine the way I originally do it. Izzy could spend her clues from this other location. All right, so we'll do that. Let's get rid of these other 2 clues. Joe's going to hang out in the sluice control. We have a third way to end the scenario. 4 Shroud, 4 clues, an action, stop them at all costs. You try to open the sluice valve. Test agility or combat 5. If you succeed, each enemy is defeated, and each investigator that has not resigned is killed. Resolution 3. There's no better time to be a hero. All right, if we want to flood the whole sewers and take us out, we can do it. That's our whole turn. Now, the reason I didn't stop here is because while Elokoss cannot make attacks opportunity, Elokoss certainly can attack investigators here during the enemy phase, which is a 3 and 3. So we're going to try not to end our turn here unless we've done an evade, which is not particularly easy when we got rid of our scrape buys earlier. That's probably why I want to go for the clue route. 10 clues means we need to get 4 from here, 4 from here, and then we need to get 2 more once this basically gets back to its clue value. So I don't love that I needed to use my look what I found on this 1 shroud location already to get 1 clue, but it is a thing that happened. Izzy's turn begins. We're going to discard the top card of our deck. It is a skill card, so I cannot commit skill cards this round. I don't really want to just run through the deck like this, so we're going to spend 2 actions to get rid of this thing. That also means I don't need to move. This zealot probably should just go. So let's go ahead and use our lucky charm and move a horror onto the cloak, killing the zealot. So theoretically, I could have waited and found another way to put some horror, made it a little bit, didn't have to use the lucky charm. But that's okay. So Elokoss, 15 damage is just probably too much here. We have the machete. We have the meat cleaver. So it's like not impossible, but I'm a little bit afraid of... I need to do the evade, right? Also, enemies can't be damaged when there's fire around. So that's probably better for us to try to get rid of that. Although the clues don't matter too much, right? Clues don't keep us from... The clue route doesn't mean that the fire has to be gone. Okay, well, let's see how things work out. Did I lose an action? I'm suddenly forgetting what Izzy did. Izzy got rid of the Langor? And did she draw a card? No, we just did the Lucky Charm thing, I think. So we still have another action unless we lost one. No. Okay, let's just draw a card then. Soul Link. Nice. Yeah, pretty sure I didn't. I think if I lost an action, that was the last round or something. Anyway, Elokoss just hangs out here. Nothing doing. She's just going to be there until, I mean, we do have these vicious blows. And there's the old compass. This will help us get the clues. Okay. Okay. 4 of 10. The Queen's Knight. When Queen's Knight takes 1 or more damage, deal 1 damage to Elokoss. This is potentially 5 damage right here. So if we can get rid of that fire, this might open up a different route for us. 1 or more. I mean, it could be... I mean, if I kill this, this is going to be additional damage. Maybe we just do a couple pokes. The fire has to be at your location. We need to get some clues for that. Interesting. It might be the way. Let's see what we draw over here. Noxious Smoke. 4 to 3. Take some damage. Can't kill me. I do have more bandages. I think we commit this other Meat Cleaver. And, I mean, it's a good commit for actually fighting. But, yeah, okay, we'll just take it. -3. There's no fire in the discard pile. And we fail by 2. So we'll take 2, and then we'll use bandages to heal 1 of it. Alexi, where on earth are you? Okay. So if I care about using the Queen's Knight's ability, we need to get rid of this fire. And the only way I can think of that is to move, do the treachery test, move again. So I think we have to do that. Move, take the treachery. We have up by 3 we can do. We could also like commit the manual dexterity as well. Now we need to save that. I mean, we can pull out the unexpected courage. Take our direct horror, finally. And commit the Soul Link. I feel like I want to save that. No, we use the manual dexterity as well then. Okay. This is 4, so I'm up 4. I did see that coming. To be fair, I was almost entirely certain that was going to be an autofill. It was too important of a test. It was much too important. Oh no, what do we do now? All right, so the manual dexterity goes in the discard pile. This goes back in here. We have 1 more action. We can't stay here. And we don't have the clues. We could attempt to do an evade maybe. And just put this off 1 more round. Okay, we have to move. We also could just give up on this ability and say we're getting 10 clues. It's possible. All right. Now, our first action does not provoke attacks. I would love to play like this. Man. It's a very good ability to help us do all the damage. I just have to think about this. What hope do we even have of doing the extra 10 damage? It's a 5 fight. We can get ourselves to 6 to 5 with the meat cleaver pretty readily. We can get 6 to 5 with Logan in play pretty readily. What if we evade? What if we evade? I mean, that's rough. Okay, what if we do an evade? I have we have the Soul Link. We have the Detective's Intuition. This is not a ritual site location. Being up 3 is really good. I think we do it. We take the horror. I don't love it, but I think we do it. And we do an evade. 5 to 2. Okay, -2 is good. And then we can think about getting these clues as quickly as possible. Losing that deduction was not great. Alexi, where the hell are you? Okay. I could play... I mean, there's something about playing Logan, too, that seems really good here. Losing Laboratory Assistant. And we need to get the clues. We are here for the clues. Let's run the perception here. This gets us a big number to 4. 8, I think it is. It's a good number. All right. We have to run the 6 to 4 then. Magnifying glass. No. No fire down here. All of it's in the discard or in the encounter deck. Wow, that was awful. So the plan was to go get 2 clues, run back here, get rid of the fire, come back. But we got no clues. So I think the Queen's Knight's going to go to Izzy. And then we go to upkeep. You are a cultist. So the cultist is going to go over there. Well, that's very interesting. Upkeep over here. 5 of 10. Okay. So what's the situation? The end of the investigation phase, she gets discarded, and then the doom goes on the agenda. We could do all the damage to her just to avoid that, but we can't do it unless the fire is out. Maybe we just have to let that run. So, the Cosmic Evils might be a take direct damage and direct horror, gain surge. I think it actually has to be right now. That doesn't often happen, but I think it is. Okay, we have some fire. More fire to put out. Unnatural decay. Test 4. If you fail, you must either place 1 doom on an asset you control or take 2 damage. So this is more doom. We have nothing to commit from our hand, really, for this, other than the meat cleaver. Yeah, let's commit the meat cleaver. Up 2 is pretty good. That's -2. We do pass that one. Okay. So the fire has to go. It might need to go from clues. It might need to go from a test. Test is better. But I have no guarantee on that except for pulling something out of the discard pile, which is a little rough. I would love to. Maybe I should have committed Fearless from the discard pile. That probably would have been better. I can do up 2 with Manual Dexterity. I think let's run that first and see what happens. Take a direct horror. 5 on 3. All right. 1 fire down. Now those Elder things are scarier. We get a card, we shuffle this back in, and you know what we're going to do? We're going to play Alexi. We're going to play Alexi because I maybe even just play the old compass too. And we're going to move the horror off of the cloak onto Alexi. And then our last action, we play the compass. Maybe we can get some clues now. Maybe. Is it turning around? I don't know if we have time. Okay. I don't think we have the damage rod anymore. We had it. There was a split second where we had it. The paranoia is here. Mark of Elokoss is the last one. We just have to get clues. So let's run the perception again. 8 on 4. All right. We get the resource. Nah. No. We draw the card. Okay. Then we get the resource. Then we're going to lose all the resources right now. It's so bad. Then we get a card from Joe's ability. And then we get a card from perception. Oh my god. We're going to have to play a card. We get the clue too, don't worry. But we're going to have to play a card. Is it the other resilience? I think it is. We might need to be eating some attacks here. It's a little bit of a waste of time, but let's do another investigate. At 6 on 4, I have so many cards. We're going to lose something. 7 on 4, that beats the -3s. Or the -2s. Okay, one more clue. I'm so paranoid. Stupid. Okay, we've taken our turns. The investigation phase ends. The Queen's Knight discards, putting a doom here. Upkeep. There's the paranoia. No resources lost. We get the resource after drawing the card. Unexpected courage. Okay. I just don't know if we have enough clues. Because we're going 7 of 10. Maybe the fire's okay. We can just leave. A wild compulsion. 4 to 3. Cards or resources. Let's run it. 4 to 3. -2. I fail by 1. We're going to lose the single resource. Okay. What we need to do is pass the fire test. Oh. Ideally, we stick around here one more round. I don't think we have the juice. We don't have fingerprint kit. That's, I think, just the unfortunate part. Maybe we draw into the other way of getting clues, but I feel like look what I found. I feel like we run out of juice. We have this round. We have 7. We have 8. We have 9. We have 3 rounds. We need to get 8 clues. It's possible if we didn't have to worry about taking all this direct damage, which, maybe we just take it. We have Elokoss dealing us another 3 horror. I mean, it stinks. May we play the detective's intuition? Maybe I should have held on to the flashlight. I feel like Izzy can get the clues or she can get the fire. Maybe not both. Maybe we need to start there and try to get the fire out, and then we work on this location next. But what is Joe going to do? He's just going to tank a lot. I could spend 2 clues just to remove this, and then the clues just spawn back. I'm just worried about passing the test over and over again. All right, let's start then with Izzy healing the horror and trying the clues. Why? Why are we passing this test? 2 to 2. We have not much. We can commit things, but how many of those clues are we going to get? Let's see. We can commit the soul link. So this gets me to -1. -2 give us even. It's really, this card is just for look what I found. I can't just use it. So I think the better call is to move into here. And let's try to evade Elokoss. We have Unexpected Courage. We have Soul Link for 1 horror. That's going to go onto Lexi. Okay. This puts us at 3, at 6, at 8 to 5. Nice. Okay, we can sit here for another round. This is going to shuffle in here. This goes to the discard pile. And we have no resources, so let's go up by 1 on this. Let's try it. Boom. Okay. Could have tried for the clues, but... Okay. We might spend the clues or something. Okay. These are some easy clues. I think we still try to get them. 6 to 4. And when I said easy, I was lying. I think we commit the detective's intuition at this point. Up 4. Fine. Let's draw our card. Magnifying glass is back. I think we need to play this. I don't think the machete is going to cut it anymore. Ha ha ha. And then we go again at 7 to 4. Nice. Okay. We move here. And we can get rid of the... I think we spend 2 clues. I think the clues are going to come a little bit more easily now, just because of the second magnifying glass. So this fire is gone. We do not take all the direct damage. It should save us for absorbing 1 attack from Elokoss. Okay. Upkeep. Oh my god. There's 2 of these left. I think. Do I only have 1 in the deck? I might have only 1 in the deck. Okay. That was really good. That'll work too. 8? Did I do that right? Yeah. I need to get 8 clues. 2 rounds. I don't know about that. Torment. We're testing 3 all. Discard 1 card. That's fine. Oh, I just passed. Okay. Canter Flame. Okay, that's fine. I don't have the resources for a scene of the crime, but it's fine. We'll get it next round. Just run them. Seven to 4. No. -4. Problem here is that I don't have anything else to commit other than this. But now I have to. Okay, well that would have worked a second ago. We will take our card. That is helpful. I think we actually have to play the emergency cash then. 1, 2, 3, and then work a hunch here for 2 resources. And take another clue. That is good. I'll spend the 4 clues. Put 2 on here. Okay. We're going to heal the horror. We're going to take a horror. And we're going to fight here at 6 to 2. Boy, that's bad. Here, I guess. And we have to do this again. Where are we putting this horror? I guess we can just defeat the Lucky Charm at this point. We move a horror onto Lucky Charm. And then this goes away. And we are doing another attack. Much better. Heal the horror. That should be 5. Okay. Yeah, that was big yikes. I have 1 action left, and we can try to do the compass. Do we have anything to commit from the discard pile? Probably. Let's try. Um, maybe I want to do it on the second round. Yeah. So we're going 2 to 3, which might just pop a fire up. That's terrible. Nothing here. I guess we needed to go all out. And that's not great, right? We really, yeah. Okay, let's chance it. No fire, please. Okay, we fail that one, and now we go again at 2 to 2, and this time we commit the soul link for a horror, and we are exhausting this, I suppose, and going 5 to 2. All right, man. We tried. This has to go back into. Was that from the discard pile? It was. So we need to take additional horror for that. Okay, this goes back in. I mean, we're trying our hardest. It's just it's not happening. I think we're gonna run out of time now because there's just we need to get 6 clues, right? We need to take some attacks. 3 damage and 3 horror apiece. This might be the end of Izzy. It's very close, isn't it? If we leave Alexi, we can do 1 damage here, 2 horror here, which deals a damage to Elokoss. And then we need to take 3. No, we need to take 1. I guess she should have like left, like go back here or something. Too late now. 1 here. We'll take 2 here, which means let's move 1 horror back from the cloak. I think that's the right game state. I mean, this is probably the last round anyway. And then for Joe, he's taking 3 and 3. That's a lot easier. We put 2 here and then kill the resilience. That should be fine. Okay. I suppose I just drew the fire. And now Izzy gets putrid vapors. That's fine. We're testing 3 all. I think I want to keep those things for the fire test. Okay, -2. We fail. And take a horror. I didn't really catch that part. It's okay. I don't think we're doing any damage. So let's take the horror, put it onto the cloak, which is the damage that I accidentally put in before. No. You cannot be damaged. There's fire here. And discard a non-story asset you control. I mean, we'll try for the clues, right? Okay. We also could try for an evade here. But we need to try for the fire test more than anything else. So let's do that. I mean, Joe doesn't lose from the attack. I think we have to try for the clues. 2 to 3. Okay, we'll try again. 2 to 2. Not enough. It's not enough for our timely intervention. All right, let's try for the fire. 3 all. Okay, we'll be intervening in this, getting rid of the fire. And then she could leave, or she could try an evade. If she leaves, she takes a horror and dies. We'll try an evade. 5 all. Give me a 0, please. No. Hey, the fire's back. Oh, well, Izzy kind of fell apart here. Yeah, I mean, I see what happened. Just a lot of auto fails here for one, but it's this is a good card, but I think it is very hard to make work here without the look what I found, which is I mean I buried this stuff because of the shuffling things back, unfortunately, but there wasn't a whole lot of card draw in this deck to circumvent that. Anyway, for Joe, we need to get 6 clues, and that does not seem possible. But we will start with the scene of the crime and get 2 of them. Now we can get rid of the fire if we wanted to, but we don't need to do that. And then we can investigate our way out at 7 to 4. Yep. Oh, there's the clues are back. 7 to 4 gets us a clue. We'll draw a card first, I suppose, and this is going to be our weakness, Mark of Elokoss. Fine, actually. But we get our clue. And then our last action, we will try another clue. Yep. All right. I mean, Joe's doing okay here. However, we are going to advance and he's going to die. Okay. End of the turn, we take a damage here. And then the investigation phase ends. Izzy just dies. Joe takes a damage. Armitage is gone. Resilience is gone. Laboratory assistant is gone. Elokoss attacks. Let's go ahead and put these 2 clues on her before. So I was 2 clues short, huh? That's actually extremely close. Yeah, we take 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and that defeats us as well. Okay, well, I mean, the fire killed us a bit here too. But we came pretty close to winning. We just needed 2 more clues, and Izzy had a hard time here. Just a little bit short. Let's check out. Yeah, wow, she actually could have done it on our turn. We just didn't have anything to commit on our side over here. These vicious blows, unfortunately. And then if we had been able to kill the Queen of Night, that might have been a little bit helpful to at least avoid that extra doom. Let's just see, out of curiosity, about our little stats here. So yeah, Joe got 2 auto fails out of his 27 tokens and 1 elder sign, which is fine. Izzy drew no elder signs and 5 auto fails out of her 27 tokens. And they both have the same number. That's really cool. That's unfortunate. We could have done a little bit better without so many of those. So that was a total of 1 elder sign to 7 auto fails. But that's Arkham Horror, the card game, a living card game by Fantasy Flight Games. Fun. This is a good scenario. I think it was within reach. This isn't actually the end. If you do advance this, there is another agenda. There is something else that can happen. However, we didn't even get there. We just died. I think having a little bit better evasion on Izzy would have helped. There's some good cards in the starter decks that would have helped here too. I think notably the Daniel Jameson ally would have helped her a lot. And maybe a bit better skill cards. I also would have loved to have my allies out a bit earlier. Good scenario. Had a good time. Tell me how it went for your first run with just core set cards. Maybe it was something like this. Until next time, I'm Daniel, and there's going to be more to come with Brethren of Ash. I'm going to do a solo run with Dexter Drake with all the cards in Chapter 2 very soon. Bye! I guess I should say one thing, that we tried our hardest to do this last part. We could have done the resolution 3 over here, although would have had a hard time doing it, at least with Izzy. And we should talk about the end, right? There actually is a resolution. We had no resolution being reached, and because we were both defeated, in your campaign log, record Elokoss was reborn, and were killed and lose the campaign. I guess there's not much to say here, but that's just losing the campaign outright. If we were to go out the flood the sewers route, we would have quote unquote won the campaign, but not with an exclamation point, which is usually the really good ending, and get the collector reward card. Not a big deal here. I just wanted to try to push and get the good ending here. We were a little tiny bit short. All right, that's it.